Last time on Apex Predator Billiards, 2-rail advanced safety play. The result of that is 25. So if you can have the cue ball heading into the trajectory of 25, if you can have that cue ball heading into that trajectory of the feather with top right spin, that is going to be 2 tips up, 1 tip to the left or right, that is about 1 o'clock or 11 o'clock on the cue ball. Then you're going to find that cue ball heading behind that 8. Let's see how that looks here. Here we go. And that is a perfect safety right there. Hey guys, welcome or welcome back again to another video tutorial pool lesson from the Apex Predator Billiards Club. My name is Apex Lenio, and yes, we are back on the practice table once more, but this time we're not going to be talking about kicking, banking, jumping, but we're going to be talking about one very important aspect, perhaps the most important aspect of one's pool game, and that is shot making. Now, in addition to you learning how to make shots, familiar shots, common shots in both 9 ball, 10 ball and 8 ball, adding the whole essence of playing position from these shots, knowing what kind of positions to play from these shots are going to be vitally important to you developing and getting to the next level of your pool game. Here in this video, I'm going to be showing you 10 very common shots in 9 ball that comes up a lot. Not only in 9 ball, but also in 10 ball, and also in the world's most common pool discipline, 8 ball. These shots usually comes up at the middle to the end phase of the rack when you have to make a very important decision on your positional play, and of course to end the rack and to get that win. So we're going to be looking at these shots here. I'm going to be showing you some variances in how these shots are played, what position you can play from, if you need to use spin or not to use spin. So without further ado, we're just going to jump right onto the practice table. We're not going to waste any more time, and I'm going to be showing you exactly how it is that these shots are played, and you can add some more value to your game. But before we do so, if you're a new viewer to my channel, we aim to grow, develop, build, add knowledge and build consistency around your game to get you from the beginner's level to the intermediate to the advanced, and like myself, aspiring here to be a professional pool player. But to do that, you have to smash that subscribe button below, turn on your post notification bell to be notified, consider dropping a like onto the video if the content is of any value to you, and do not forget to share this out to your pool communities, friends and family. Let's jump right onto the practice table to see what these shots are like. Alright guys, so right here you can see I have my little booklet here that I am having with a little bit of diagrams that I have drawn up just to remind me of these shots that I'm going to be showing you here. And of course, whenever you're on the practice table, you want to ensure that you have a little notepad to make notes of errors, things that you've learned, so you can proceed on to putting in the necessary time and effort into learning this beautiful game known as pocket billiards. So the first shot here is going to be a very common 9 ball and 10 ball shot where there are going to be cases. Let me just remove these object balls from the way. Yeah, you're going to be having a case where you have maybe your final ball down here, your cue ball is somewhere around the 45 degree or maybe around the 22.5 degree. All right, and sometimes you have to play position, maybe say pocketing the one into the corner, coming off 1 rail, 2 rails, maybe playing position onto the 9, or coming in deep and playing position onto this side or that side of the 10. So definitely this is a shot that a lot of the professional players, they tend to do, leave themselves with angles like this. So first I'm going to be doing 2 variances of the shot. I'm going to be pocketing the 1, and I'm going to be trying to play position onto the 9. So here for me, all it requires here is a nice, very subtle stroke, and I'm not going to be using any spin, just playing with draw. I'm going to be catching the 3rd diamond here and just holding the speed for position onto the 9. So here we go guys. So this low spin here, No right, no left. And just nicely coming into position for the 9 here, and you can be able to win the rack. Now let's set this back up again, and that is when your cue ball is around the 45-degree angle. Now if that you're around the 45-degree angle, but this time a position onto either this side or that side of the 10 here, I'm simply just going to be playing position for this side of the 10 here. I'm going to pretend like, for example, the pocket here is white. All right, so I'm just going to be playing the very same exact stroke, but this time I'm actually just going to be playing with a bit of a hair of right spin here. So here we go, guys. Remember to compensate for aiming with spin, right? So I'm just aiming the spin at the contact spot here, and I'm just using a nice smooth stroke to get position. Table speed is not as fast, guys, but you can see that it's heading into that trajectory. If I had a faster table, I would have landed nicely for a decent shot on to the 10. Now the third variance of this shot here is going to be where I'm not as steep, and so I'm around the 22, so about here. So I'm going to be using this sort of angle now to play position onto the 10 on this side here. And so for this, all I need is just maybe a hair of right spin, not as much, just to come a bit deep and to land on to the 10 here. So a more shallow angle here. And there you can see nicely landing onto the 10 for an easy shot into the corner. All right, now guys, if you thought that I made all these shots on my first try, no, I had to put in maybe 1 or 2 tries to get nice position like this. So definitely this is one shot that you need to definitely go on the table and practice and get used to the feel and the stroke that is needed to execute the shot. Let's have a look at shot number 2. Alright guys, so here in this example now, you are on your last ball for the 2 ball here, and you have an easy shot onto the 2 into the corner. But the thing is, what is easier to play is perhaps just making the shot, coming across one rail, coming over here, and just landing anywhere in this zone here. The thing is, the shot I'm about to show you now is actually to play 3 rail position, that is cutting the 2 into the corner, going 1, 2 rails and 3 rails and coming into the line for the 8. Now it's a personal preference, and the situation that is on the table here doesn't warrant you to choose this particular shot, but in fact it's an option that you all need to practice on the table. So I'm not saying that this shot is the best option. It's just one that you need to get onto the table and practice, because occasionally, depending on the position of the balls on the table, you may need to travel the cue ball around the angles in order to get position onto the 8 here. So I'm going to be trying to land into the middle of the table here. I'm just going to be using a bit of top left spin in this case here, and I'm going to be coming around this area here. Just going to be controlling the speed. So I'm aiming with left spin here, top left, 2 tips up, 1 tip to the left. And coming right into this area here for nice position onto the 8. Now what I like about this option too is that a lot of the times you have an object ball. Let's say for example you're playing the 9 ball here for example, and you have to get position on the 10 ball that is all the way down here. All right, and so let's set this up, guys. Here we are on an angle, let's say here, and you have to actually get position all the way onto the 10. It's going to be a little bit difficult for us to use option number 1 or shot number 1, where we pocket the 9 and go 1 and 2 rails and back down here. That's a bit risky. So the best option here is to actually play 3 rails, that is going 1, 2, 3 rails. And with the speed, you can catch 4 rails and get down here for the 10. So let's see how this works out. This would be the best option to get onto your 10 ball. We need the proper speed, guys. And here you can see it's going around the angles and landing nicely onto the 10 for an easy shot into the corner here. All right, now this also works nicely whenever, say for example, you are perhaps around the second diamond here, all right, and you need to actually go ahead now and try to get onto the 10. It's a bit riskier because you have to cut the shot a bit farther down the rail, so you tend to come in a bit sharper here and you might land a bit high onto the 10, but this also works nicely too. So let's see if we can go around the angles here. I'm just going to be using a bit more right spin here to lengthen the angle a little bit more. So here we go, guys. Nice subtle speed here. Do not overhit the cue ball. And you can see we end up right into the corner. We land a bit high onto the 10, but based on where we were, guys, we can safely say that this is not a bad position to end up on. We may need a little bit more of a left spin, center left spin to come a bit deep, but I can safely say that that's a good route to travel. All right, so hopefully you guys can definitely get some timing on the table and practice that particular shot there. Let's have a look at shot number 3. All right, guys, so another shot that often comes up when you're playing pool is the shot that a lot of young amateur players tend to face most of the times when they're playing position. They tend to be playing position on the last ball. Let's say, for example, let's get this 9 ball out, and let us say we're playing a game of 10 ball and you're trying to play position nicely onto the 9, but you will land on the 50-yard line here. And so a lot of players tend to be scared because what they do is that they play the shot a bit too hard. It tends to scratch, or they sometimes tends to miss. So what you're gonna have to do here, guys, is just, this shot is easily played. This is a 45-degree cut angle into the corner, into either corner. And if you play this with a natural cue ball, rolling cue ball, you can have this cue ball going 1, 2 rails and coming down into this area. Now you have to be careful because if you want not to scratch, if you want to avoid scratching, you can sometimes use a bit of right spin or left spin depending on the direction to come into this rail and land onto the zone, or you can chance by using a bit of inside spin, catching 2 rails and coming in this area here. So I'm going to be showing you these 3 variances here, guys. So I'm going to be using a natural cue ball here, 45-degree cut. So all I'm doing here, guys, is that I'm aiming just on the outside edge of the 9, and so just naturally rolling this cue ball in and trying to get around this area. I'm just going to be controlling my speed here, guys. And there you can see, nice position there onto your final ball, which is the 10. But like I said earlier, you could actually use a bit of left or right spin here, and sometimes that area that the ball just actually fell into there, you can actually have a ball that is around this area here. So maybe you're gonna have to go 1, 2, 3 reels and come. Now this shot is a little bit more difficult because you have to compensate for aiming. So sometimes a lot of players tend to avoid using spin, like myself. So I do not like to have to play this shot with spin. If I have to, I will, but if I don't have to, I tend to avoid it. So here, just a little bit of right spin, just a hair of right spin should get me into this reel and into the zone here. All right, so here we go, guys. Just a trace of right spin here. Very risky, needed a bit more spin, could have almost scratched, but you can see I catch the 3rd rail here, which allowed me to control my speed and get good position onto my final ball here. So it's just a case where you just need to get on the table and practice a few of these shots. All right, so we're going to be looking at 2 more examples. I'm going to be uploading a part 2 to the last 5 shots. So we're going to looking at two more examples of common 9-ball shots that you have, 9, 10, and 8-ball shots that you have to learn how to play. Let's look at shot number 4. All right, guys. So this is another shot that comes up a lot, where you actually have a ball that is on the same side of the 4-ball or the object ball that you're on. And sometimes you're going to have to put a stroke onto this object ball here by pocketing the 4 and trying to go into this reel here and come back onto this side. There's two scenarios that could come up here. You could be playing, let's say for example, a game of 10-ball or even a game of 8-ball here, and you need to land perhaps onto the same side of the reel that you're on. So to pocket the 8 and pocket the 10. So this here, you could actually go perhaps 1, 2 reels, but it's a bit risky because you're coming into a large area which you're going to be leaving yourself perhaps with a tougher shot onto the 8. So you want to try to come as close to this reel as possible here. So the best option for you here is to actually play the 4 with a bit of low draw that's coming here, and depending on how close you want to come to this reel, just a hair of right spin in this case should get you back over onto this side of the reel here. All right, so this is also another common shot in 8, 9, and 10 ball. So let's have a look at what the cue ball does. All right, so aim low here, just a hair of right spin. That was a bit hard. Was very fortunate actually. Had a bit too much right spin on that, but you can see the reaction of the cue ball off the rail here coming back down. You can see that with more right spin, you're going to come lower down onto the rail, which obviously brings up a very important shot here, because actually what this reminds me of is that you could actually be playing for a shot that is all the way down here. All right, let's place the 8 ball actually down here and put the 10 ball here. That brings up a very important point, and this is what practicing does, guys. Whenever you're trying to play for a particular position, sometimes other things comes up that actually teaches you more aspects of the game. So here I'm perhaps just going to be trying to play for the 8 ball here. So now I know that I'm going to have to use a bit more right spin here. So low with a trace of right, well, more than a trace of right. Stroking this cue ball nicely, coming down for the 8. Needed a better stroke on that, guys, to get a bit deeper here. But even in any case, this would still not be a bad shot. I definitely want to give that one a try again. Needed a smoother stroke on that shot, guys, and need a bit more right spin. So definitely this is something worth practicing. Give it a better stroke here. And that is not too bad. You can see I got a bit deeper and a bit closer. Still not landing nicely onto the 8. But the idea and the concept of how to play these shots are very important. So you two definitely gonna have to go on the table and do a bit more practicing to get the feel of that. I definitely can tell you that I needed a bit smoother stroke on that. And I needed a bit of table speed and table helps to get me down into this area for the 8. All right, let's look at final shot in this part 1 upload. All right, guys, so this is the final shot in this part 1 upload here. And so we're going to be trying to play a shot here. Here we're trying to play for position number 10 from the 5. And so we've landed again on the 50-yard line, and it's risky because a lot of things can go wrong here, and a lot of players tend to play a bit of Hail Mary shot, a bit of right spin, left spin, moving the cue ball around the table, when it's absolutely not necessary. All this requires here is just a center ball stroke, pocketing the 5, simply going off the side rail and back out to the middle of the table for a nice shot onto the 10. This shot is a shot that has given me trouble in my practice sessions over the years, but it's something that I have worked on and is still working on here And so I've found a bit of feel based on the amount of time that I'm placing on the table. I've found a bit of feel for this shot. So definitely this is something that I want to share with you, that this is a very common shot in 9 ball. So here, I'm going to be pocketing the 5. I'm going to be coming off the side rail and coming back out into the middle of the table. And I'm not going to be overhitting the object ball here. So here we go. This is it's approximately between 30 and 45 degree cut shot here. So I'm just aiming just inside the edge of the circumference of the 5 ball here, and just playing with a bit of stun. Needed a bit more draw on that. Let's give that one another try, guys. Wanted a bit more control on that. We got the draw that we needed with the stun, but I think I perhaps just need to play with a little bit more than stun. So gonna be aiming a bit lower under the cue ball here and trying to get it out to the middle of the table. And there you can see nice control onto the cue ball there, landing nicely for position onto the 10 ball. All right. So there are 5 very important shots that you all need to learn and practice on the table. If you actually thought that these shots took me 1 or 2 tries, they didn't. They actually took me more than 3 tries to actually execute for you to see. So definitely this is something that I am working on. This is something that you need to work on. And this is something that you need to put some time in on the practice table to get it done. All right. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this content today. Do look out for the second upload of positional shots, common 9 ball, 10 ball, and 8 ball shots that are played in pools. So until next time, this is Apex Selenia signing out. I'll see you next time. Do not forget to smash the subscribe button below. Post a bell, drop a like onto the content, and let me know what you think in the comments. Do not forget to share this out to your pool communities. Do take care until next time. This is Apex Selenia signing out until next. Can we get there, guys? Are we gonna leak it? I think I am satisfied. Here we go. And that was perfect. Again,